Hey, it's finally Foundation Friday. If you're new here on Fridays, I sit down and talk about a new or old, we don't discriminate here, foundation that I've been trying out. I do multi-day wear tests using a variety of tools, techniques, and products. Since you're interested in learning more about the new reformulated Milk Makeup Sunshine Skin Tint, let's get started. I usually start these reviews off with a little bit of a background on the story behind or the history behind the brand, but unfortunately, Milk's About Us section leaves a lot to be desired, but I did find a little bit more information on Sephora's website. At Milk Makeup, they believe it's not just about how you create your look, it's what you do in it that matters. Their unique multi-use products are designed for a on-the-go lifestyle with high-tech ingredients, without all the bad stuff. Milk Makeup is inspired by its home, Milk Studios, a cultural hub of creators in New York and LA. At Milk Makeup, there are no rules. Live your look. The Milk website just says, at Milk Makeup, we believe in good ingredients and epic payoff. We're cruelty-free, paraben-free, and 100% vegan. We were born at Milk, a creative studio in downtown New York City. Our community and culture has always been our inspiration. We see personal style and experimentation as the ultimate forms of self-expression. It's not just about how you create your look, it's what you do in it that matters. Hashtag live your look. And that is what we know about Milk Makeup. The new reformulated Milk Makeup Sunshine Skin Tint SPF 30 retails for $42, and you get 0.54 fluid ounces, which is about half of a standard foundation. There are 14 shades that range from fair to deep. I picked up the shade Fair, which is for fair skin with neutral, cool undertones. I think that this is a really good shade match for me. I have noticed throughout the day that it tends to start leaning more yellow. I'm going to insert some swatches here of the new reformulated Milk Makeup Sunshine Skin Tint against some of the other foundations that I have in my collection alongside the original Sunshine Skin Tint formula. New Milk Makeup in the shade Fair, original Milk Makeup in the shade Fair, Rare Beauty Liquid Touch Foundation in the shade 160C, Kosas Tinted Face Oil in the shade 1, Glossier Skin Tint in the shade G12, Ilia Super Serum Skin Tint in the shade Rendezvous, and the Smashbox Halo Tinted Moisturizer in the shade Light Fair. I'm going to pop on the screen the full description of the Sunshine Skin Tint, but I'm just going to go over some of the claims and the more interesting bits. The highlights of this foundation are that it is made without silicones, refills are available, it's reef safe SPF, clean at Sephora, has light coverage, and a natural finish. I did notice that the highlight section was only available on the Sephora website and not on the Sephora app. It's an improved, clean, silicone-free skin tint that provides light coverage with a weightless feel while moisturizing with natural oils for a dewy finish and protecting with coral reef safe broad spectrum SPF 30 sunscreen. Some highlighted ingredients are grapeseed, avocado, mandarin, jojoba, and olive oils. There's olive-derived squalane, which seals in moisture and supplies antioxidant for fresh-looking skin. Even though there is sunscreen in this product, it contains no nano zinc and won't cause flashback. Spoiler alert, we will be testing that later in the video. Vegan, gluten-free, and cruelty-free, reef-safe, and comes in recyclable packaging. It is a skin tint, face oil, and sunscreen. It has a bigger pump and has a glass roller ball for seamless, mess-free, direct-to-skin application. These shades are adaptable and work across multiple skin tones, leaves a dewy, glowing finish, and it has airtight packaging, meaning that your formula won't oxidize or change color over time. Now on to packaging. Milk Makeup now packages the Sunshine Skin Tint in a paper box, and it is something that they are very proud of. It says that the package is made of certified 100% post-consumer paperboard with 100% post-consumer paper labels. The original Sunshine Skin Tint did come in a very hard to open plastic tube, so this is definitely an improvement on the outer box packaging. The new foundation packaging is just about the same as the original packaging in that it still comes in the plastic tube, has a push button for the pump, and then it has the glass roller ball. The difference though is that now the pump is considerably bigger than the previous tube. It's also airtight and will keep it from oxidizing or changing color over time. The Sephora website does have that highlight button that says that this is refillable, but I only see that on the website and not when I go to the Sephora app. When I go to Milk Makeup's website, there is something that says that sustainable refillable cartridges are coming soon. The refill cartridges cut down on 66% of plastic waste, hold the same amount of formula as the original, and are easy to replace in the rollerball packaging. Online only. There isn't any information available about what the price will be, but I do hope that it's much more reasonable than what the current price point is. Moving on to formula, texture, and application. The formula is meant to be a 3-in-1 skin tint, face oil, and sunscreen. It's thicker than other face oils that I have experience with. This one does not move around or slide around, whereas other oils are runny and drippy and very messy. The finish is undeniably dewy and glowy, and it's also very moisturizing and hydrating feeling. I also noticed that it's very long wearing, and I was able to put a mask on top of it without any kind of transfer. The texture is more balmy than oily, and it dries down very smooth and silky. It's weightless and very comfortable to wear. There is a slight citrus scent, but I don't notice it after I've applied the foundation. Milk recommends using the foundation by pumping one time, roll directly onto skin, and blend for light coverage. I don't know who can get away with using only one pump for their whole face, but I would love to meet that person. For more coverage, let it set, pump again, roll, and blend. I think this foundation builds so nicely. You can build it to a solid medium without any kind of issues. No pilling, no heaviness, no caking. The only thing that arises is extra dewy skin, which is not a problem for myself, but if you are trying to avoid an overly wet look, then you probably don't want to build this. You can blend this out with your fingers, a sponge, or a brush. Milk really wants you to use your fingers. I personally don't like using my fingers for this foundation. I don't like the texture between my fingertips. But I also don't think that it gives a lot of coverage. I don't think it spreads very well with the fingers. I definitely like using a brush for the application much better. And when I use the brush, I will pump it into the tube, and then I'll put the product on my brush and I'll apply from my brush onto my face. And I found that that gives really the best result with the most coverage, and it really just melts much better into the skin that way. Before I get into my personal feelings about the new reformulated Milk Makeup Sunshine Skin Tint, I'm going to insert some footage from my 3-day wear test. As always, the first wear test is done with no additional products. Milk recommends blending this into your skin using your fingers, but I really didn't like that. I then move on to using the Ulta Beauty number 13 brush, and I like the application and coverage a lot more. I use the sponge to just smooth things over. Because of the color match, it barely registers to me that I don't have any additional makeup on. Well, other than my eyes. You can see at the end of the night that it still looks almost as good as it did when I first applied it. On the second day, I primed using the Lawless Hydrating Primer. I wanted to use a hydrating base that didn't give any additional glow. The skin tint applied great on top of this primer. I used my number 13 brush to blend out the foundation, and then I added some additional product in my more scarred areas. I was able to apply products on top of the foundation and didn't notice any problems except for a little around my nose. I thought it moved around a little bit. You can see at the end of the night that it still looks freshly applied. On day 3, I did a side-by-side comparison of the original skin tint and the new skin tint. I used the Lawless Primer and the Ulta 13 brush. I think you can see pretty clearly the difference on the sides of my face. The new formula is much more dewy looking. It almost puts the original formula to shame. When I asked my husband which side of my face he preferred, he did choose the new formula side. Once again, at the end of the night, almost 13 hours later, the foundation still looks amazing and outshines, quite literally, the old formula. I included some unflattering close-ups so that you could see that I'm literally poreless at the end of the night. There's no settling, no creasing, no pits coming through. My skin was completely smooth. Just a reminder, if you're ever curious about what products I'm using, I do have a detailed breakdown in the description box, as well as additional information about my skin type and makeup preferences. Now that all that's out of the way, let's get into my final thoughts. First, even though this has SPF in it, I do still recommend starting your routine with a dedicated SPF. You shouldn't rely on the SPF in a makeup product to be effective enough to fully protect against the sun's rays. Milk Makeup also recommends that you have a dedicated SPF to apply throughout the day if you're going to have long-term sun exposure. I didn't have any expectations going into trying this skin tint. I knew how I felt about the original skin tint, and then when I heard they were reformulating and releasing this new one, I knew that I wanted to try it whether or not it was going to be good or bad. I'm going to take this time now to compare the new Sunshine Skin Tint to the original Sunshine Skin Tint. Starting with the outer packaging, the new Milk Makeup Sunshine Skin Tint does come in a paper cardboard recyclable box, whereas the original formula came in a really cumbersome plastic tube, and I am so happy that they improved upon that packaging. The product packaging is quite similar, though the new formula is just a little teeny tiny bit longer. The girth of the two products remained the same. The new packaging does have a larger pump, and apparently there's some difference with the glass ball that negates the blockage issues from the original formula's packaging issue. The formula texture is pretty much the same in that I really don't like it and think it's very unpleasant to touch, and it has that filmy residue that really makes my skin crawl when I have to use my fingers. So there's that. Additionally, the new formula is super long wearing. It doesn't enhance any kind of texture, and in fact, it even smooths out all of my texture, and it really amps up the glow factor. And finally, to address the biggest difference between the two products is the amount of product that you get in the tube. With the original formula, you are only getting 0.7 fluid ounces, which is about 25% less of a standard foundation. In the new formula, you're getting 0.54 fluid ounces, which is about half of a standard foundation, but it still costs $42 for each. I've only just learned that this product is meant to be refillable, and since I don't know what the price is meant to be on the refill cartridges, I can only hope that it's much more reasonably priced. If you do want a standalone video comparing the two foundations, I can definitely have that up for you, but I didn't think that there was enough differences to warrant an entire video, but if that is something that you're still interested in seeing, I can definitely create that for you. Aside from the price point and the product amount, I've had nothing but positive experiences using this foundation. I almost hate that I have had such great experiences because the price point is so infuriating, but it is so damn good. In terms of what I look for in a foundation, dewy bordering on wet, long wearing, comfortable, light to medium coverage, this ticks all of my boxes, even boxes I didn't know I had. And to be a silicone-free foundation, this has amazing pore filling and blurring capabilities. Going back over the claims real quick, it says that it is light coverage. It can definitely be worn sheer to light coverage, but I've had great success in building this up to a solid medium or even higher coverage than that with no caking or creasing or issues with my foundation. All of my scarring on my cheeks and my jawline get covered, and it never looked heavy or like I was wearing a lot of foundation. The finish is natural. I'm gonna have to say that I don't agree with this one. I don't know how this could be classified as a natural finish foundation unless you are a mermaid or someone who is perpetually wet. Even then, I don't know. I definitely don't think this is a natural finish foundation. It is so super dewy and glowy. It definitely does have a skin-like texture. If for whatever reason you were looking for a natural finish foundation and this is what you decided to settle on, only considering that it said it was a natural finish and barring any other descriptive words or the name of the product, if you wore this thinking you were getting a natural finish, you would be heavily disappointed in that, since it's not a natural finish at all. The formula is weightless, moisturizing, comfortable, and fresh looking. Absolutely agree on all of those points. My skin even looks and feels really great the next morning when I wake up. It says that it doesn't cause flashback, and now seems like a really great time to test that. I've got my camera pulled up, my flash turned on. It's true, it doesn't do any kind of flash. I'm going to turn the camera not front facing to see if there's a difference. Neither cameras gave any kind of flashback, which that's really good to know. It is mess free. I guess it's mess free in the sense that it can't spill. So yeah, it's mess free. The Milk Makeup website says that this is TSA friendly packaging, and I'll be honest, if we were in the before times, I would be very tempted to head to O'Hare and do some cheeky shenanigans to verify this. But unfortunately, for the time being, I have to take Milk's word for it. But if you're a TSA agent, definitely let me know if this is TSA friendly, because I think that's a really interesting packaging claim. An iconic glass roller ball. Well, we're just calling anything iconic nowadays, aren't we? Good for normal to dry skin types. Yeah, if you're oily, I would definitely avoid this foundation. If you're looking for the perfect, easily buildable, light coverage, super dewy finish, skin-like texture, and you've got normal to dry skin, you won't be disappointed in the Sunshine Skin Tint, aside from the price point and product amount. But I do feel like there are several other options available that either come with a better price point, like the Glossier Skin Tint, or for a similar price point but more product, the Ilia Super Serum Skin Tint SPF 40. Additionally, if you don't mind mixing your products, you can get a liquid highlighter like the Glow Lust from Auric, or the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter, the Billion Dollar Brows Gold Infused Illuminator, or if you are interested in paying $42 for a liquid highlighter, you could also get the Ilia Liquid Light Serum Highlighter. New Milk Makeup, Old Milk Makeup, Auric Glow Lust in the shade Morganite, Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter in the shade 1 Fair, Ilia Liquid Lights Highlighting Serum in the shade Nova, Billion Dollar Brows Gold Infused Illuminator. You could use any of those underneath your foundation, or mixed into your primer, or mixed into your foundation, or layered on top of your foundation to still achieve that super dewy, wet looking glow. You just have to add an additional product or step into your routine. Overall, even though I think that this is my perfect foundation and it's everything I could ever want or anything I could ever need, I highly doubt that I'll be repurchasing unless the refill cartridges are under $30 or there's a really good sale. I'm not someone that's easily deterred by price, but the price point for the product amount that you're receiving is laughable. I can't let it go. I cannot wrap my head around how they relaunched this product with this price point and then didn't include any real information about refills, didn't include any kind of prices about refill cartridges, and it's something that keeps nagging at the back of my brain. So I went down the rabbit hole of expensive foundations at Sephora. I had to write all this down because there's a lot of numbers and math, and I'm not good with those things. So I'm gonna kind of jump back and forth between looking at you and looking at my notes. I hope you understand. On Sephora's website, there are 74 foundations that retail for $42 or above and are also a liquid formulation. Taking out the sets and a few of the cushion foundations that snuck their way in there, there are 67 foundations that retail for $42 or above. Of the 67 foundations, and you better believe I clicked every single one of them, there are only 5 foundations that have less than 1 fluid ounce, unless you count the Milk Skin Tint, and then it's 6. If we narrow that down even further to just skin tints with light coverage, $42 and above, and again, barring the pesky cushion foundations that snuck in there again, there are only 12 foundations. Of those 12, the only one foundation that has less than 1 fluid ounce is the Milk Makeup Sunshine Skin Tint. But 6 have more than 1 ounce of foundation. Because I'm going on a deep dive down this rabbit hole, let's just say that I bought 2 Milk Makeup Sunshine Skin Tint foundations for $82, and they have the 0.54 ounces, so it's 1.08 fluid ounces. There are only 5 foundations at Sephora, and once again, barring those cushion foundations who apparently don't care that they weren't invited to this party, there are only 3 foundations that retail for that kind of price point which are Tom Ford for $88, La Mer for $125, and Armani for $130. All three of those have 1 fluid ounce of foundation. Diplomatically speaking, I don't think if those 4 were in the school cafeteria that Milk would be sitting at the same table as Tom Ford, La Mer, and Armani. I'm sorry you had to see that side of me. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up. If you have any other foundations that you'd like me to check out or any other videos you'd like to see from me, definitely let me know down below. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I will catch you again very soon in my next video.
Purchase Friday.